Okay, Ed at Audio Ultra here today, and I'm with Michael the Greek, as you can see, and we're in Music Room 2. This is Audio Ultra's Music Room 2, and it has the Gobel Comtesse. We have the world premiere version of this loudspeaker that was actually presented in Munich this year. Fantastic loudspeaker. Playing for the source, it's all Kuzma. It's their Stabi S, the pipe bomb, as Michael Fremers just mentioned in his recent video when he visited Kuzma factory in Slovenia. Fantastic factory, by the way, and I think Fremers did an excellent job on that video. Then for our source, we're running the Title. We're running a Title Prisma. It's the Phono amp and preamp all in one, and it's a fantastic sounding unit. And amplification, which is behind Michael, is a CH Precision A1.5. Another great piece, all sitting on Falconer racks. So the room is very, very high end, and we're actually playing again with some records today. And what Michael brought over was a few different albums from original pressings and some different versions we listened to on the AC/DC's Back in Black.
Yeah. And as far as cartridges, what were we using today?
So on the cartridge, we actually kind of bounce between two. So on the Kuzma Stabi S, there's two tone arms. There's the 313 with the VTA Tower, and that has a EBI cartridge, the Kumar, and then also the 4-point, which has been shown many times. And then on the 4-point, we have the Ortofon PW Winfeld, which is a fantastic cartridge as well.
Okay, so we started off today listening to an original pressing of Rush's 2112.
Great album.
Yeah.
Great
now,
album.
the very first pressings of these have JAMF in the dead wax stamped, and that stands for Just Another Mastering Facility. That was the name of the mastering studio in Canada where they cut these. Yeah, JAMF, and you can tell because they have the skyscraper on the versus the later Mercury that had the black neon. So we listened to our first pressing. We listened to side one, and we listened to it with both cartridges and both tone arms.
We did, and and again, there's going to be a difference. So it's not about which is better or that type of thing, because they're two different price points, two different products. Both did a tremendous job. On the EBI, it's a wood body cartridge, so you're going to get that warmer tone. Still has a great detail, still picks up everything in the groove, but just a much warmer feeling, and just a pure rock and roll type of cartridge. Whereas the Ortofon, I think, was your favorite.
I prefer the Ortofon, yes, but I still like the EB. The EB's got a bit of a warmer tone to it.
Yep, it sure does.
Yeah.
And the Ortofon, on the PW Winfeld, it's just going to pull out more detail. You're going to get way more bass extension, much deeper mid-range, all the dynamics that kind of go along with it. But again, the tone arm also too is making a big difference on both of those. And with the 4-point, as we explained before in earlier videos, makes a huge difference. It allows the cartridge to do its job, right? So the whole thing is to get out of the way and let that needle dig into the groove. So on the Rush album that we played, it was kind of cool because we heard the water part of song number 2.
Yeah.
And there's different levels of it that we were hearing.
Yeah, we definitely kind of heard a stream.
A stream.
A river, a stream. And it kind of came from right around here from our listening position. And it kind of stayed there. And actually, that just sounded differently with the two cartridges too.
It did. And not only are the cartridges basically picking up different frequencies within those grooves, but also the Gobel speaker there was able to basically transcend that, and you really kind of heard the difference. So whatever's fed, it just kind of proves whatever's going into it is coming out of it, and the Gobel just did a fantastic job presenting that. Transparent to the source. Right?
Yeah.
That's really what we were saying earlier, is transparent to the source. And that's a real good characteristic of the Gobel speaker. It's that AMT tweeter that they're running there with the bending wave technology, which is an aluminum guide plate behind it. And that tweeter is very, very pure, very natural, very organic. And it does blend in beautifully with those soft dome drivers that they're incorporated. And on the Comtesse as well, is that you have to know that it's a front ported speaker. So there's 2 ports that's actually behind Michael here this time.
Yeah. And they're separate enclosures, right?
They're separate, yep.
Okay.
And the one thing also too, like Tidal Audio that we listened to recently and Gobel, they both enclose their crossover. So it's a hermetically sealed enclosed crossover, which I think is really, really important in speaker design. Everybody has their different methods, different ways, and by no stretch am I a designer of audio speakers, but I do understand resonance and vibration, and I see how it affects the sound, and the more that it's controlled, the better the signal is going to basically reproduce a much more better sound quality type of reproduction. But
so let me clarify something. Many speaker designers will just kind of set the crossover like near the bottom of the enclosure, right?
Right.
So when a woofer or mid is resonating, it can affect the sound of the crossover if it's not sealed. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, all the air, all the pressure buildup internally is, now these are ported speakers, so it's going out, but it still has influence, right? It's having influence of the internal conductor, of the crossovers themselves. So that's what I'm trying to get at. So
Gotcha.
seal that, get it out of the way, and let the speaker do its job. Is my take on it.
Yeah.
But it was kind of a fun presentation because we heard that water. That water became, I don't want to say lifelike because this is a reproduction of sound, but it did really kind of give you a good sense of feel between that.
Yeah, and the as far as that goes, the water we're talking about, and we're talking about certain details in our last video. What we're noticing, and I'm noticing especially with great transparent systems, the reason we keep pointing out these little details is in some systems those details get lost in the mix when drums kick in, when slam kicks in. In transparent systems, you keep hearing those little details stick out throughout the entire selection you're listening to.
That's right. They keep coming out. And here too, in Music Room 2, I mean, this room is done in all quiet rock. It's floating off the studs. It's quiet rock insulation in the walls as well. So this room is really contained to help really kind of lower the noise floor in a sense where it's not allowing gain, either positive or negative, to basically influence the sound. So this room actually is a pretty cool room in a lot of ways in that regard. And also to power it up, it's audio ultrasized with our AU3000 power panel that's behind the acoustic panel behind me. In wall, we have 7 dedicated runs of using OEI cabling. That's the best of the best, and actually that really, again, that helps bring this noise floor down super, super low.
Yeah.
But moving on, I guess, right?
Yeah, after Rush, we did a comparison.
We did a comparison.
Yeah, we pulled out an original pressing of AC/DC's Back in Black. Original was cut by Bob Ludwig, who retired last year.
Yeah, this is Brian Johnson's first debut, right? Coming after Bon Scott, which was one of my favorites.
Yeah, I love Bon Scott too. Yeah, there it is. There's an original pressing. So we listened to that, and we compared it to 2 reissues we have. We have one reissue, and I have the other. They're both credited as being remastered by George Marino, but they're cut at different facilities, and we notice a difference in those two.
Big difference.
Big difference.
And I do think Michael swapped his for mine, so I have to look at it.
No, I wouldn't do that to you.
But no, there are two different sound pressing in there, but they both don't come equal to what we heard off the Atlantic pressing here.
The original 1980, very dynamic. We were listening to Hell's Bells, so again, we have something going on at Bell.
Right, another bell like we did with Rita Ward there. But but that bell was very, very. I don't even know how to describe it actually. You just hear the bell. It's like the resonance around the bell. Mm-hmm. It's right there in front of you. The kick drum comes in and it sounds accurate. Mm-hmm. And that's really what we're getting off the original pressing.
Yeah,
and completely different.
On the version I had, which was our least favorite, was cut in Germany. The initials KR, which is I believe it's Optimally Media. The bell was weak.
Right.
The whole presentation was weak.
It was horrible.
It sounded like a stream.
It was like an MP3
like a bad
stream. It wasn't even a quality.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was not of any quality at all, and sadly, you don't know these things, and it doesn't make it in the sense of like it's bad or anything of that nature. It's just that when you have the options in front of you, knowing where the gear can take you to hear the music, that's where kind of the fun kind of happens to be. But never want to lose sight of the musicality. I mean, all these things still bring great joy.
The other thing I noticed in that song was when the kick drum kicks in on Hell's Bells, right at the center. Much more slam in the original pressing.
Lots of slam. Yeah. Lots of slam. Lots of just.
And it was thinner on the reissues.
It was. It was extremely thinner.
Yeah.
But again, so that the albums again it doesn't mean buy this or buy that. It's just that what we saw, what we heard today on the gear that we're playing between Kuzma turntables, CH Precision amplifiers, Gobel Comtesse loudspeakers that are just remarkable. It really just brings out even that much more what this gear is capable of. Some guys say, well, hey, are you listening to the album or are you listening to the gear? In this situation, we get to hear both because that gear allows you to hear more from what that record is capable of. And funny enough, again, as I mentioned many times, we're talking about 1980. This is an original pressing, right? And it's coming out with all its glory that's outpacing the reproduction was done in
2013 or 12, whatever it was.
Something of that nature. I mean, it doesn't even come anywhere close. So it just shows you how fun sometimes this could be, listening to different versions that are out there and all the music has to give.
Yeah, and there is no hard and fast rule. Some people are like, oh, the originals always sound better. And I feel like, oh, they're remastered. There's no. It depends on the title. That's what I found.
It depends on the title. In audio, there is no steadfast rule. There's lots of
Yeah.
compromises, lots of variables. There are no bests. So it just kind of comes back to get out there, kind of hear what's going on, and make your choice and be happy, right?
Yeah. Now, one thing I wanted to mention, you were using a weight on this Kuzma table, weren't you?
Oh my God.
I just thought about that.
Yeah, and how can we forget poor
Exactly.
Mark Dohmann?
Yeah.
So this is a Dohmann record clamp here. They're not. They're from. Excuse me about all that, but no. This is the Mark Dohmann record clamp. It's an amazing piece. It's actually designed to control resonance, and it makes a huge difference. We've done several tests here where I'll pick them up hot while the record is playing, and you'll hear differences between clamps. This one wins every single time, and we have them in stock.
And you have two versions, right? On the Dohmann table, it actually screws down, right?
Yeah, on the screw down, there's definitely a screw down model, as you mentioned. This is what they call gravity fed. So it just simply just drops onto the spindle, and away you go. But definitely make a huge difference. And what this does, it'll bring out just more of the tones, more of the richness. You'll hear better bass extension. It really does. It helps again contribute to lower the noise floor. Everything, it seems like in audio, is designed to lower the noise floor, which brings clarity. And when you bring clarity, you have more of the dynamics and more of all the extensions and everything else that you're hearing.
Yeah.
So great piece, great piece. What else we got?
I think that's what we're listening to today, AC/DC and Rush.
Then let's.
Very enjoyable listen on these Gobel speakers.
No, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so then with that, then hey, let's close this out, and we'll catch up with you guys next time.
Thanks.
Take care.